Thanks everyone for joining today. My name's Kevin Meany. I am the CTO of the Solutions Development Corporation for ACP Creative IT. We came over into the ACP family about 2 years ago from a small organization out of the New England area. And I'd like to say we're very happy to be part of the family and very happy to be working with our clients and ACP clients across the board. And today, we're very excited to introduce a partner that we've been working with for quite some time, StorMagic, with Hyperconverged storage solutions. And now they have added some new options or new features into that, which is certainly very time fitting with all the turmoil in the hypervisor space these days. So they're going to give a product overview and live demonstration of their product, and I think you're going to find it very impressive. So with that, I will hand it over to Brian.
Thank you, Kevin. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining. As Kevin had mentioned, ACP and StorMagic have been great partners over the years, and they have been newly recognized as one of our premier partners in the United States, which is the top tier partner program that we've recently created, and we're really excited to be working even closer with them in their sales and pre-sales organizations to provide hyper-converged solutions out to their clients. So just a couple of house cleaning items. If I'm going to go through 6 or 7 slides. I promise I won't PowerPoint you to death, but for those that are not familiar with StorMagic, just spend a couple of minutes giving a very high level on who we are, what we do, why we're here, and then also talk about a new product that we recently introduced just about 15 days ago. We will then have a live demonstration with Stuart and Mark Christie. These are pre-sales engineers based here in the US that will work very closely with you and the ACP engineering team to help design and facilitate and implement a hyperconverged solution for you out there. During the course, we're very informal. So if you have questions, feel free to use the chat, hit the raise your hand button, jump in and ask the question. We've got an hour, but I don't think there's an hour worth of. There's definitely not an hour of demo and PowerPoint, so we have plenty of free time for Q&A. So feel free to ask those questions throughout the webinar. So first off, StorMagic. Many of you may already be aware of us, and those that don't. We are a hyperconverged infrastructure software development company. So we are 100% pure software, and we'll get into a little bit about our hardware and compatibility list and how we work with the different infrastructure of the hardware throughout an organization. But we're generally known to be focused primarily on the edge or SMB or SME. There's a lot of acronyms that we like here in the IT space, but really it's designed for those organizations that have small data centers or lots of small edge sites. So if you think about what does that mean? Think about retail hospitality, like the Home Depot. Granted, they've got 2,400 locations, but almost all of them are identical. They run the same POS software, they run the same credit card processing, they run the same inventory control. So we kind of look at that as 2,400 small data centers throughout the US and Canada. O'Reilly Auto Parts, which is one of our big clients, they have over 6,000 locations. But if you look at the 6,000 locations, they're all identical. But then we also work in very small environments. So if we look down into like finance and law, we have a tremendous amount of law firms and accounting firms throughout the globe that utilize our software, and they may only have 1 site, maybe 2 sites or 3 sites, but they're typically not high IOP type infrastructures. They're not using a lot of compute. They basically want an HCI solution to manage and protect their data so that they can be focused more importantly on whatever their core business is. And in finance and law, that's typically law firms dealing with law. We have a handful of customers, many thousands of customers around the globe in the travel transportation. As an example, CETA is one example. Is what they do is they design full solutions into airports, and we're in roughly between 90 and 100 international airports around the world, whether it be managing the baggage claim process, whether it's ticketing systems, whether it's the monitors throughout an airport when you walk. There's lots of different smaller solutions that are out there, but they all typically have that look and feel of an SMB. Although it's critical data, we're not talking about a lot of data. So these are some of the customers and some of the industries we are around the world. And again, being focused on edge and SMB challenges, they're all fairly similar. Again, whether you're a law firm or you're a Home Depot, what are the similarities that most customers have? They have not a tremendous amount of data at the edge. They typically do not have IT staff at the edge. So as an example, a law firm is not going to have typically, a full robust IT department just to manage their infrastructure, especially in smaller mom and pop type law firms, right up to the bigger enterprise, like we'll use Home Depot. I'll just keep coming back to Home Depot. They have IT people, or typically a person, but they don't have the knowledge in the background to really manage an entire hyperconverged infrastructure out at each one of their sites. The criticalness of the data is of the highest priority, even though they don't have that type of IT staff. We're talking critical applications. So if a retail store, credit card machine, or credit card processing software goes down, they're out of business until they get that back up. If the inventory control system goes down, they can't transact business. They won't know the inventory. They won't be able to provide high level of customer service, so on and so forth. So when we look at edge and SMB challenges, they're typically very similar, even though the data might be completely different from one organization to another. So the last couple of weeks, we have introduced our most recent product. We're very proud of it, the SvHCI, and that's StorMagic's designed, developed, in-house, fully supported HCI stack from SvSAN, that's what we're known for the past 15 years. That's our virtual storage, right up through the virtual networking and the hypervisor and the management. And that's all wrapped into one closed environment. I'll stay short of saying proprietary, but it's a closed environment so that we can really ensure the highest level of security with pen testing or with ransomware, et cetera. So the reason why we came out with this product was there's been a lot of challenges for customers and partners of ours around the world, with a lot of the challenges and changes that have gone in with certain organizations with the hypervisor. And it was our time to really step in, because our customers were asking us, hey, we use SvSAN. We've been using it for 10 years. We love it. It's rock solid. How about you come out with something that manages the entire stack, so they don't have to go to StorMagic for the storage, VMware for the hypervisor, some other open source for virtual networking, so on and so forth. I did mention before at the top of the call that we're not a hardware company, but we are hardware agnostic. So one of the real core things with StorMagic is this whole section here in the yellow, at StorMagic SvHCI. Down below, if it's an x86 server, unless there's some weird configuration that's outside of the norm, we're agnostic. So you can pick your own hardware, pick your own vendor, whether it be a HPE or Supermicro or Lenovo or Cisco or Dell. We don't care. In fact, we're really well known out in the industry that we've got the widest support of hardware than anybody in the industry. And that includes internally, like the NIC cards. Now, the vast majority of the business out there utilizes Broadcom NIC cards or Intel. There's a lot of other Mellanox that's out there. There's other companies that have it, but we've got the widest range of hardware that will be able to support this entire HCI stack. So to recap where our positioning is we're purpose-built. We built our stack for the edge, where other organizations, they built their stack for the enterprise data center. And there's lots of great solutions that are out there that support the enterprise data center. You're typically dealing with hundreds of terabytes, maybe even petabytes. You're dealing with, terabytes of RAM. You're dealing with database, Oracle databases that have extremely high IOPS. And that's in the main data center. That's not where we're focused. We're focused out on the edge, and we designed our software to be focused on the edge. Therefore, we're able to, when we talk about being right sized for the application or the environment, we have the lowest entry point of resources that's required out there. In general, if you give us one vCPU, a couple of gig of RAM, and 32 gig of hardware space or disk space, you're up and running. That's all you need. I mean, you literally could be running our SvHCI on a laptop computer. Now, most customers don't do that, but you can if you could if you wanted. It's dependable. It's on proven technology. SvSAN has been a staple product in the industry with the highest customer service, the highest product reliability in the industry for almost a decade and a half. And it's led by our 7x24 support staff, those are internal StorMagic employees. We don't offshore it. They're English speaking, bilingual, depending on what part of the world, but they are StorMagic badged employees. So when you call into the support to open a ticket, you're talking to a live, not a robot, or someone outsourced. You're talking to a StorMagic employee that's localized to the environment or the geographic area that you're in. And then we're cost effective. At the end of the day, it was very important that in order to meet some of the challenges with these companies that have kind of played around with pricing and all of that, and we all know what who I'm referring to there, we decided to really be, if we're going to have a purpose-built solution that's highly dependable and reliable, let's make sure that it's also cost effective. So you will see once you talked with ACP and if you have a project or something that you're interested in and you get some pricing from them, I would ask anyone, do an apples to apples comparison. And you'll see that you could save anywhere from 30 to 60, and in some cases, even more than 62% on the existing software that you may have that's out in your specific environment. So it is designed for 100% uptime. And this is one of the things that I did want to highlight, because we want to be transparent on what the product is, but also what the product is not. So ensuring that it's you have 100% uptime and your data is protected. Our first release of the product is you're able to do backups with all the leading companies, and I just mentioned 3 here: Commvault, Veeam, Acronis. There's a handful of companies out there. You are able to do backup and protect your data as agents, so you can do a VM backup using agents. But quickly after this first release, we will be having snapshot capability, and also a release after that, we'll have a complete in-house certified backup solution, direct attached solution with the Veeams of the world that are out there. But for version 1.1 or 1.2, I think it is that we've released, You will be able to do backups, but they're going to be via agents. And we've got a couple of tech folks on the call that can answer any questions if anyone has any questions regarding how that's done. So again, saving the money. And these are all list prices, so feel free to call up your local ACP rep and and beat them up on price. But list price that we're going out there with is extremely competitive in the market. Where if you have a 2 terabyte solution for a 1-year subscription, list price is $4,098 compared to the equivalent with VMware is roughly in $5,100. That's the lowest price point where you're saving around 21%. And as your capacity increases, some folks have 10 terabytes, some have 20 terabytes, whatever it is. As that capacity increases, so does your cost savings when you do an apples to apples comparison. We price per node. We decided to make it very simple. Some companies price per socket, per CPU, per thread, per VM, and we just decided to make it very simple. It's per node or per server. There's a fixed cost for that for our HCI software, and then there's the second line item would be cost for the storage capacity, and that ranges anywhere from 2 terabyte. It's 2, 6, 12, 24, 48, and then it gets to unlimited. So we've got a wide range of capacity points that will meet pretty much every one of our customers' needs that are out there. So example use cases, I won't get into this too much, but we have thousands of customers, that are in retail that are doing POS, video surveillance, digital signage, in the healthcare, instrument optimization, patient data, computer vision learning in the healthcare, and then of course in your traditional SMB or small data center, it's everything from databases to back office applications, backup and archive, CRM, ERP. So we've got dozens and dozens of use cases that are out there that we're happy to sit down and work with you to see where the best fit for this would be within your organization. So we help you use, protect, and manage your applications and data. It's purpose-built for the edge, so it's very small. It's designed to work in very small systems, but can scale up. It does eliminate downtime with only 2 servers. So our hyperconverged total protection only requires 2 servers, where in some cases, not all, some cases you need at least 3 servers or 4 servers to provide the same type of reliability. In those organizations that can have an HCI solution with 2 servers, what we have found is the system requirements are that you would be over provisioning hardware to meet that organization's minimum system requirements. It's a proven technology. We've been doing this for 15 plus years. And it is the most cost-effective HCI solution that are out there. I had mentioned we've got thousands of customers. We have over 60,000 implementations or deployments around the world in 30 plus different countries. So we're very familiar with all types of geographic locations, in addition to the different types of verticals that you or your customers would be in. So with that, let me take the share button off, which I think I have. And before we move on to the demo, let me just stop and ask, are there any questions? If you want to put it in the chat, raise your hand. Any questions so far from anybody? Okay, I think we're good. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Stuart Campbell. He's one of our senior pre-sales architects. I think you're based in Arkansas, Stuart, right now.
Correct, in Arkansas.
He will be doing a live demo of our SvHCI. So I'll let you take it away. Thank you.
All right. So can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay. So this is our SvSAN product. This is the product that Brian was talking about that we've been shipping for 15 years and over 60,000 installs worldwide. What we did was we took this current shipping product that is tried and true. Customers love this product. We added KVM to it, we added Open vSwitch to it, and we added QEMU to give us a full complete stack. When we do our install of our new product, it looks very similar to our SvSAN product that is in 50,000 locations, 60,000 locations worldwide. So when we do our install of our SvHCI product, it installs in about a 314 megabyte ISO image on your hardware of choice. And then we have your requirements like Brian was talking about, your one CPU, 2 gigs of memory. And then we also have a 20 gig journal file that we use for changes, to keep track of changes that are committed if one of the hosts goes down for maintenance, or if you have a failure of the host. That 20 gig journal file keeps track of all the changes that are committed. So when that host comes back up, it synchronizes your data stored with those changes that were missed. So with our SvSAN product, we went through and added QEMU and KVM and Open vSwitch. When they did the design of it, if I go to my networking here, we did networking based similar to what customers currently see within VMware. So customers that are very familiar with it, you would create a vSwitch. So if I create a vSwitch, I'll just create vSwitch 3. I'll set up active, passive. So, and select the networks that I want to create for this environment. I can apply that. Then I create my interface. I want that interface created on vSwitch 3. Put in a IP address. I'll do and then select which interface you want to use that on. If you wanted a failover or preferred network, I'll just say a preferred network. Create, put the name in. So then that created my network. So now I have a network vSwitch 3, similar to what you do within VMware. Also, what we did under the Discovery tab, since I changed my networking, under the Discovery tab, we added the ability to join. Since my cluster's already joined together, you don't see the option, but there would be an option called join to let you join which 2 hosts in the environment you want to join in a cluster. Our witness is very lightweight. Our witness can run as a service on a Windows box, a Linux box. I'm running this on a Raspberry Pi. So it just depends on what you want within your environment. Our witness is very low latency, 3,000 milliseconds of latency, 20% packet loss. It can manage up to 1,000 clusters from a single witness. So I'm just running my witness on this Raspberry Pi. The storage in this environment is we are block level. So instead of like you would see within VMware or Hyper-V or even KVM solutions, you would install your hypervisor, then you install your clustering, then you install our virtual server on top of that. But in our SvHCI solution, we install our appliance and it is at the same level as your kernel. So we present the block devices directly to our hypervisor. When we create our virtual machines, they are created at the block level. So when you do your install, you install it and create your virtual machines directly at the block level in this environment, which gives you the best performance. So your devices within this environment, I just have this set up where I have a 480 gig drive that's for my boot. I have 2 drives that are 1.92 terabyte SSDs for my capacity. The server that I have doesn't have a RAID controller in it. If you have a RAID controller, you can create the RAID array, present that RAID array to us, and then we can use that RAID array as a capacity layer. In this environment, I don't have a RAID controller, so all I did was present those drives as raw devices, and then within our software, I created a RAID 1 of those drives. If I go to my pool, you can see my shared storage. I created a RAID 1 of those 1.92 terabyte drives. So it makes it very easy to manage and very easy to maintain. If I go to my virtual machines, within my virtual machine environment, I can upload images. If you want to move from a VMware environment or from a Hyper-V environment, you would convert that VM over to a raw format, and then you would choose that file and upload that VM directly into our SvHCI solution. Also, from the create virtual machines, to create a virtual machine is very simple. I would just give it a name. We'll just call it test. If I want to protect this VM, when I do a protect, it will mirror this virtual machine between the two hosts, and it gives you the ability to have live migration and failover of those VMs if I power a server off, and I'll show you that here in a minute. Select how much memory you want, the number of cores, add a CD-ROM, add your networking, add your disk drive. I'll just call this test, and I'll just give it 10 gigs. Where do I want it? Do I want it on my shared storage, or do I want it on my boot drive? So it depends on how you want to configure that within your environment. So it makes it very easy to create your virtual machines in this environment. So if I go to my virtual machines, if I want to look at a VM, so go to my virtual machines. If I want to look at this VM, I can go to my VNC connection. It shows my VM. This is host number 177. I can do a ping to that host, go to my VM. I can do a migrate, and it will do a live migration of this VM. It takes about 25 to 30 seconds to migrate this VM. The live migration, as you can see, it's already migrated over to host number 1, did not drop a ping or anything for that environment. If I look at this other VM that's out there, this is VM 180. Let me go out here and start a ping on it. Okay, so I started a ping on that host. Now, if I go out to my ILO, let me log into my ILO.
Stuart, while
Sure.
you're logging in, there is a question in the chat, and it is, where do I apply the ISO for the OS after creating a new VM?
I can show you right here. If you do a upload your image, you can upload your ISO image. And then when you upload your ISO image, you can select whether it's a boot or whether you want it on the boot storage or on the shared storage. And when you upload it under your storage, it will show you if it's an ISO image that you've uploaded or if it's one of your virtual machines. Did that answer your question?
I think so.
Okay. So now that I've got logged into host number 2 here, if I just go up and I just do a reset of that host, so that host is going down, that
So
VM will.
you're doing a power shutdown, a hard
Correct.
shutdown. Yep.
I'm doing a hard shutdown on this host. So I did a hard shutdown of the host. It's timed out because it can't communicate with that VM. Just like other hypervisors, that VM will restart on the other host. And normally it's about 20 to 25 seconds before it starts coming back, before I start seeing the ping for those. So now that those VM is up on host number 1. So if I go to host number 1, go to my virtual machines, I can see that my VMs are running on that host.
So you did a hard reset and you dropped about what, 10 pings? So that was about 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
So yep, dropped about, what was it? Yeah, 10 pings, about 25 to 30 seconds. If you normally in a VMware environment, it takes about 2.5 minutes to restart that VM on the other host. In a Hyper-V environment, we see about 4 minutes. So very responsive in that environment. And then once those VMs come back up, those VMs will go move to the preferred host for those particular virtual machines. Any questions so far on anything that you've seen?
I think there's a clarification on the last question. When you create a new VM, example Windows, where do you
Okay.
actually attach the ISO to the new
Okay.
VM to go through the OS installation?
Okay, no problem. So create virtual machine, and I'll just say when. You give it your memory, do add CD-ROM, and then select your ISO. That's my Windows ISO DVD. Add that. And then I would also add for Windows the virtual Windows driver. And then after you add that, add your networking. I'm just going to use my management network and then add my disk, and I'll just call it Win and give it 20 gigs. Put it on my shared storage, make it a boot, and protect it. So that's how you add it, is just go in and add CD-ROM to your VM when you're creating it. Does that answer your question?
Yep. He said pretty straightforward.
Okay.
That's
So
our
any
goal.
other questions?
That's our
Yes,
goal.
just
Make it very simple and easy.
that's it, simple and easy. And this environment that I'm demoing on, I actually did a reinstall of it at 9 o'clock this morning. Between 9 o'clock and the start of this call, I installed both of these hosts, installed all my VMs, and did some test failovers prior to this call. So very easy, very straightforward, very simple to implement in this environment. Questions or anything I missed or you would like to see?
Mark, is there anything else that we missed on the demo you think we should touch on?
No, I don't think so. I mean, inheriting the pieces from SvHCI, the on-prem, the diagnostics, the events, the logging, all of those pieces that make it a rock-solid solution for the edge, effectively.
Okay. So one question just came in. Does it work with other SANs? I assume you mean on that Christian external storage. If that's the question, for version 1.0, it is internal storage or
Direct
JBODs,
attach.
direct attach. Yeah, JBODs. It is on the roadmap to be, NetApp or EMC or, any of the other companies. That is on the roadmap for future releases to support additional external SANs. And then can we get a demo on VMware conversation with SvHCI with StorMagic, SvSend? We're more than happy to have conversation. I think the best thing to do is reach out to your local ACP rep, and we can coordinate a call with one of our pre-sales and do a one-on-one offline for your specific environment. Oh, conversion. Okay, conversation. I'll talk to anybody about anything, right? But a conversion, absolutely. And that's a big thing, the migration from VMware over to SvHCI, we were very conscious that we had to make it easy, simple, kind of a no-brainer. So it's tough to do a demo on that because we don't have the luxury of time to do an actual migration over, but happy to sit down with you and show you. And in fact, if anyone is interested, we do have a program. I'll put it. Mark already put it in the chat. It's the beta. Right now, I call it beta only because it's pre-release. It will be released in the next 30 to 45 days. Simply go on to stormagic.com. You can easily find the link to the beta program, and then it's a quick form you fill out, and then you can download the pre-release version and test it in your own environment. I would suggest you reach out and speak with our pre-sales organization to help you with that first initial setup. It's not required, but we would like to kind of help you with that journey and then show you how you can do migrations. All right, so Stuart, thank you very much. That was an excellent demo. I love to see a failover in 8, 10, 20 pings. That's the fastest in the industry when you take a look at Hyper-V or vSphere or even just a KVM, out of the box KVM solution. It's definitely at the top of the list when it comes to performance and reliability. So thank you for that.
I did a demo the other day for a customer, and they were talking during the migration, and I had to do it again because they missed it. It happened so quick. So
Great. Okay, well, I think if there's no more questions, I'm just monitoring. I don't think there's any in the Q&A. Let me just double check. There's none in the Q&A, no more in the chat. Another question might be coming in. So we'll just give Mark a quick second.
Yeah, I'll just add in, having, seen it, spent a little time with it, it's very, very familiar looking if you're used to ESXi. So the learning curve is very small and a lot of it's automated.
Yep. That was by design. Let's get a product out there that people are already somewhat familiar with, easy to use. And that goes back to the edge focus, with limited IT staff in a lot of SMBs and SMEs. It's the breaking that learning curve was really important to us. So I appreciate you recognizing that. Okay. So with that said, let me pass it back to our wonderful friends over at ACP, and we can close it out.
Well, thanks all, everyone from the StorMagic team. We appreciate the time today. It was a very great presentation. Hopefully our customers can see this. I think franchises, remote offices, it's a huge advantage, wide range of hardware that this solution can run on. So certainly set up some time and talk with your local ACP representatives, and we can get some more deeper dives into demonstrations and more about the product. And without anything else, we'll end it a little early and give some people some time back today. Thanks everyone for attending.
Thank you. Have a great day.